700 miles, 2 countries, 10 locations, 2 mineral spas, 1 ski resort, historical sites, beach clubs and bars, capital cities, island adventures, and much more. Come with us as we drive through Western Bulgaria into the Northern Greek Mainland. And now it's time to hit the road. We start our journey in Sofia, Bulgaria, which is probably one of the most underrated European capitals, but also such a nice jewel to add to your collection of visited cities. Roman ruins over the city center, numerous green areas, friendly locals, and amazingly delicious traditional food. On top of all this, Sofia is a budget traveler's paradise, making it the perfect starting point for any Eastern European road trip, as flights and car rentals from here are the best deals you will find. Although the main sites are concentrated in the city center and can be seen within 48 hours, there are plenty of interesting, culturally and historically significant day trips you can take from here. The city also abounds with amazing and unconventional Airbnbs at an unbeatable price. Ready for some serious R&R and our first mineral spa for this trip, we headed to a beautiful place just 70 kilometers south of Sofia. The town of Sapareva, Banya is primarily popular for its mineral waters, the hottest mineral water in all of Europe with a temperature of 103 Celsius springs in the town. Our hotel came highly recommended, and we soon found out why. The rooms are spacious, clean, modern, and have that earthy, hip element to them with little touches like cozy robes, slippers, and sustainable bathroom amenities. The view induces relaxation, and the terrace is just perfect for relaxing with a glass of wine in the afternoon and marveling at the sunset. But where the 5 elements really shines is in its spectacular spa. Different temperature Swedish saunas, Norwegian-style saunas with a view, various steam baths, healthy waters to help you stay hydrated, amazing shower facilities, including a fun adventure shower, wonderful relaxed, quiet area, and of course, an outdoor sunbathing area to enjoy the fresh mountain air. The mineral waters of Sapareva Banya are clear, colorless, and have truly incredible healing properties. This being one of the main reasons why the Sapareva Banya region was popular from ancient times. And truly, there is no better place to enjoy them than in this hotel. On top of featuring phenomenal indoor mineral water pool, saltwater jacuzzi, stone cave-like one, it also has a hot connection to the famous Anchor Aqua complex, which features multiple outdoor pools itself. Sapareva Banya's location is perfect base point for the iconic 7 Rila lakes and various other hikes. But since the lift to the lodge was closed this time of year, and let's face it, we were not prepared for serious mountaineering, we ended up enjoying this great roadside tavern. So traditionally Bulgarian, nestled in the forest, wooden tables, fresh air, sound of the river, smoke from the outdoor fire pit, simple, wonderful, and charming all at the same time. We had to save some space for the dinner we had included in the hotel, so we just enjoyed a very light afternoon snack. Back at the Five Elements, the dinner atmosphere was just as fabulous, with a gorgeous sunset, bird flocks making formations among the scattered clouds, and that amazing feeling of having spent the entire day exploring the spa, the mineral pools, and the mountain treks. Trust me, there aren't many things that can compare to how your body feels after a combination of soaking in magical mineral water and energizing in the revitalizing mountain air. Bansko is one of Bulgaria's most popular winter resorts, and a ski town with a twist. On one side you've got the Pirin mountains with their towering snow-covered peaks, and the modern Bansko ski resort. Then on the other side you've got a historic Bulgarian town, full of cobbled streets and atmospheric restaurants. Summers here are glorious as the city is quieter, the temperature's perfect, and the host of activities range from free festivals to mountain biking, horseback riding, hiking, and of course, enjoying spas. Our first stop was Pirin Golf Club, a spectacular, sprawling resort with Switzerland green hills, lawns, and mountain views for days. Enjoy a wonderful lunch on the luxury lodge-style patio and then walk it all off amongst the trees. If we hadn't already booked another accommodation, staying here would have been a no-brainer. Although I must note, from the photos, the rooms seemed a bit more on the dated side rather than on the classy one. Our choice of hotel was just 5 minutes down the road. It looked relaxing on the outside and had the same mountain views. The main lobby was exploding with mountain charm and amazing, cozy, wintry, ski-inspired touches. Leather, wood, woolskin, and fireplaces abound and delight. The rooms themselves were nothing too special, but they were indeed clean, comfortable, and spacious enough. The view, as I mentioned, was of Pirin Golf Club and the Pirin Mountain itself. They had a little spa area with one sauna, one steam bath, and a small indoor pool and jacuzzi, but I imagine that after a great day on the slopes, that is pretty much all one needs. Visiting Bansko in the winter is a whole different level of cozy, but since we had a few rainy, cloudy days, we almost got a sliver of that feeling. We celebrated the rainy afternoon in one of the most traditional and unique restaurants I have ever witnessed. Valevicata is bursting with authentic atmosphere and Bulgarian history. The decor consists of original pieces that set the owner a couple of millions to put together. Their wine list is focused on local producers, including a couple of bottles they make themselves, which is of course what we tried. And yes, perhaps the slopes weren't covered in snow and there weren't freezing winds outside, but that did not prevent us from having the heartiest, steamiest, most decadent dish, the deer stew, served with a side of homemade bread and rakia on fire. The feast was followed by a homemade blueberry jam cake, compliments of the chef, and a very certain method for not walking out on your bill. Just about an hour south from Bansko, on the other side of the foothills of Pirin mountain, lies the town of Sandanski, which is also well known for its natural hot mineral water springs. The thermal spa Medite resort seemed like the perfect spot to enjoy the incredible properties of the special Bulgarian mineral water, coupled with awesome city views. The hotel is very modern and pleasant. The rooms weren't too spacious, but the huge, incredibly comfortable bed all but made up for it. The bathroom was sleek and sexy as well, and the toiletries certainly deserve a spot in any avid traveler's cosmetic bag. And just like that, it was that time again to explore the spa. Although not as big as the one in the Five Elements Hotel, it seemed to have all the usual suspects, and one pretty unusual one that was a great bonus. The salt room, as I called it, had a wonderful effect on tired feet and felt like a great natural pedicure session. Follow that with a dip into the indoor mineral pool, or if you so desire, and may I just add, we highly recommend it, in the outdoor one, where the infinity edge meets the city skyline and the distant mountaintops behind. The other areas of the resort were just as pleasant, with a top-notch breakfast buffet featuring freshly squeezed juices and actual local honeycombs. I simply love it when a hotel breakfast features all those great touches. We had a fantastic time in Medite, and we would certainly recommend and return. From then on, we were off to a whole other country. Our experience on the border was long and restrictions-ridden, as the Greeks were pretty strict with measurements at the time, but we were super excited to start exploring the Northern Greek Mainland. And of course, we had to start with some epic history. When you want to learn more about the history of the ancient Greek Macedonian kingdom and like to see one of the best archaeological sites in Greece, you should head to Vergina. Here you can visit the stunning Macedonian Vergina tombs, where the remains of King Philip of Macedonia, the father of Alexander the Great, were found. Vergina is the name of the modern village that now exists at the same place where once the ancient Greek Macedonian city of Aigai was located. The Macedonian Greeks, just like other ancient Greek tribes, buried their dead in a small artificial hill called tumulus. The Royal Tomb Museum of Vergina is built within a reconstruction of the tumulus mound, where the tombs originally were found in. These mounds of accumulated earth covered the actual tomb. The tomb also had a sign bearing the name and the father's name of the dead. A more important person in the dynasty would have a bigger tumulus and even a temple. This practice is already mentioned in the writings of Homer. Besides the tomb of King Philip II, you can see 3 more tombs in the museum. Beautiful treasures found in the tombs are on display. It is one of the most important historical places to visit in Macedonia. While many other tombs had been plundered, King Philip's tomb was found untouched, with all the treasures still there. The facade of his tomb is impressive, with the frieze painted in bright colors. Alexander's tomb hasn't been found yet, but it is sure he was not buried in Aigai. Legend has it that King Philip II married a Thracian princess, and after he was assassinated, she was obliged by tradition to follow him into the afterlife. So she had to be sacrificed as well. You can marvel at both her crown and the king's. Moreover, Philip's actual armor is on display as well. Both the site and the museum give insight into the legacy of Philip and how powerful the city-state was at the time. Ancient history lovers can also visit the ancient theater where the great king's execution actually took place. It was a bit hard to find, and there was no infrastructure, parking lot, or even an entrance to it. But for those who know where to look, the reward is stepping on the same grounds where King Philip II and his son, Alexander the Great, once walked. Mount Olympus was the mythical home of the ancient Greek gods and is the highest mountain in Greece. Nowadays, it is a treasured natural area, popular with hikers, climbers, and other outdoor lovers. Mount Olympus is arguably the most famous mountain in the world, thanks to Zeus and his godly associates. It is the home of the gods of Greek mythology, and thus is the main reason for countless stories and tales that account for this fame. The mountain attracts thousands of visitors every year. Each visitor desires to experience this unique place for many different reasons. The lure of Greek mythology, the opportunity to climb a beautiful mountain, the love of nature, geological research, and many more. Nestled in the footsteps of Mount Olympus is the idyllic Greek village of Litochoro, which is a perfect base camp for all hikers and climbers. It is a great destination for those who want to combine a stay in the mountains with the option to get fast to the sea and the beaches at the Greek coast. Very close to Litochoro is the archaeological site of Dion, this fabulous Greek park with green lush vegetation, ponds, statues of ancient gods, sanctuaries, and theaters is pretty unknown, but definitely one of the most beautiful and most interesting archaeological sites in Greece. The Archeological Museum of Dion was established in 1983 to display excavations unearthed in the area from a fortified city that once stood in its place from the 6th century BC to the 5th century AD. The museum contains many items from when the Romans lived in the area, including statues, architectural members, votive and grave monuments, coins, and many other objects found in the necropolis and the sanctuaries and baths of the ancient city on the site. The water organ, the statue of Dionysus, Isis and Aphrodite, Hypolympia, and the Asclepios daughters are displays of particular note. After satisfying both our nature and museum hunger, it was time to enjoy some city life. To me, Thessaloniki did not make the greatest first impression. Kind of old-fashioned, not the cleanest, and nothing seemingly special about it. Let's just say not your classic European beauty. Once you start walking around though, the city slowly starts opening up to you. We started with a fabulous brunch at a place I handpicked for the occasion, called Estrella. As it came to the seating arrangement and the ambience, I was honestly disappointed. The interior looked like a takeout counter, and there were only a couple of outside tables, literally on the sidewalk, And trust me, I'm all for outdoor urban dining and brunching, but somehow this corner was nothing close to cool or comfortable. The food, however, lived up to every brunch addict's expectations. Mouth-watering is the only way to describe this amazing salmon Benedict with feta cream, this terrific caramel croissant with Greek custard, and these divinely fluffy egg whites. After this amazing meal, we were ready to hit the Thessaloniki streets. Our first point of interest was the museum house of the founder of modern Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, who was born here in 1881. It is a 3-floor house with a courtyard next to the Turkish consulate. It was built before 1870, and in 1935, the Thessaloniki City Council gave it to the Turkish state, which decided to convert it into a museum dedicated to Ataturk. It displays a lot of Kemal's personal effects from Ankara. Greece's second largest city is a place with a long history that dates back to 315 BC. It was a base for Christianity, so it's not surprising that it has a legacy of Byzantine churches listed as UNESCO World Heritage. Of the many Christian monuments, Hagia Sophia is one of the oldest churches in the city. The earliest church was built in the 3rd century. However, the current structure was built during the 8th century and modeled after the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. Aristotelous Square opens to the sea and is a central part of the life in the city. The large square is surrounded by beautiful buildings and is packed with restaurants, cafes, and little shops. Besides its ancient roots, Thessaloniki is a dynamic city with a growing street art scene. The university crowd breathes in a young and vibrant atmosphere, and the cool cafes, eclectic bars, and hipster eateries are more than enough to satisfy all the senses. Every city has its symbolic structure. If in Paris, it's the Eiffel. In Thessaloniki, it's the White Tower, topped with the Greek flag. When strolling on the Nikos Promenade near the sea, this tower cannot be missed. Now let's let you in on a little local secret. Mere 30 minutes south of Thessaloniki lies the sleepy coastal village of Epanomi. Life here is all about simplicity and relaxation. To me, this is what Greece is all about: unpretentious, contemplative simplicity, in which all of life's magic and meaning can be found. That's if one really is open-minded enough to look for the little joys. If for some reason you feel like spicing things up, of course, there are plenty of beach clubs to choose from. Sahara was cool enough. The fresh fruit was exactly what it is to be expected here, the cocktails were decent, and the daybeds bougie enough to make you feel like Greek royalty. Another cool beach club that our local friends took us to turned into a fun open-air party in the summer rain, which felt equal parts invigorating, spontaneous, adventurous, and memorable. Overall, Epanomi is a little beach gem off the beaten path that can make for an awesome day trip from Thessaloniki. The Mediterranean ambience here is bursting from everywhere. And for those willing to look for magic, they can find it right on the horizon. And seize the moment with a photo shoot. Following the strong urge from our local friends, we ended up on a piece of land that was not to be expected, considering we had all of Halkidiki to explore. The tiny island of Ammouliani is Halkidiki's best-kept secret, and the only inhabited island of the region. Few foreigners know about this charming little destination, and even fewer Greeks visit as they tend to travel to larger, more popular islands. The trip from Thessaloniki is a little over 2 hours, and the ferry ride is short and easy, costing 15 euros in one direction. Accommodations were simple yet cute, and our little balcony had corner sea view. The hotel's lobby had little sea-themed touches, and the garden was super pleasant for breakfast. The most popular beach, Alikis, is on the west coast of the island, just 1 kilometer away from the village. It is a crescent-shaped sandy bay with shallow, perfect temperature water. In the summer, it has a campsite and a few beach bars. As it came to beach bites, however, do not expect much, besides some sandwiches and salads. Starved for some quote-unquote real food, we decided to do some more exploration. In winding on one of those roads that constantly make you wonder if your GPS is messing with you, we reached beach bar Gripos. I honestly haven't seen more low-key place than that. It was truly secluded and chill, and if that is what you're looking for, then this would be paradise. To contrast the anti-tourist nature of our last 2 stops, we headed to one of Greece's most famous seaside resorts. The road to Kavala is picturesque, and if you take the coastal highway, there are countless of beach taverns you can enjoy on the way. At first glance, Kavala had the same effect on me as Thessaloniki. As we searched for our Airbnb through the tiny winding streets, I felt a bit claustrophobic and was not impressed with the lack of charm on the buildings. On a much higher note, our Airbnb was simply spectacular. So sleek and minimalistic, with just the right amount of color accents. It was fully stocked and comfort was everywhere you turned. Could not recommend this enough. If you ever end up looking for a place in Kavala, just search for Adele's Apartments on Airbnb or Booking.com. As you head out of that maze, you start to see what the fuzz is all about and reappreciate Kavala's undeniable charm. The city, considered the third most beautiful in the country, is one of the biggest transport seaport hubs of northern Greece and beautifully situated on the bay, giving it the nickname the Monaco of Greece. The old town of Kavala, known as Panagia, is fascinatingly built like an amphitheater on the slopes of Mount Simvolo, and full of awesome historic buildings. It has some fantastic architecture, taking you back to different periods of its history. Not being fans of crowded city beaches, we headed back west along the coastal highway in search of something a bit more picturesque and secluded. Our first option in the little village of Palio was full to the brim with not one single beach chair for grabs. So we forged our own path and discovered this little gem, part of the Costa Vita beach bar. This restaurant felt like a Mamma Mia set. It was the quintessential Greek magic. And the food was right up there with that vibe too. With, and I do not say this lightly, the best shrimp spaghetti and grilled octopus ever. Honestly, what a way to wrap up our Greek journey. Stay tuned for the second part of our road trip diary of the Balkans, in which we explored northern Turkey and the Black Sea coast of eastern Bulgaria. Meanwhile, check out our other road trip video of the Great American West. Subscribe to our channel for more travel inspiration, and remember, time is travel.